Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. Today is the 29th of July 2018. We're going to reflect on John chapter 6 verses 1 to 15. After this, Jesus went to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, also called the Sea of Tiberias. A large crowd kept following him because they saw the signs that he was doing for the sick. Jesus went up the mountain and sat down there with his disciples. Now the Passover, the festival of the Jews, was near. When he looked up and saw a large crowd coming toward him, Jesus said to Philip, "Where are we to buy bread for these people to eat?" He said this to test him, for he himself knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, 6 months' wages would not buy enough bread for each of them to get even a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what are they among so many people?" Jesus said, "Make the people sit down." Now there was a great deal of grass in the place, so they sat down, about 5,000 in all. Then Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed them to those who were seated, so also the fish, as much as they wanted. When they were satisfied, he told his disciples, "Gather up the fragments left over, so that nothing may be lost." So they gathered them up, and from the fragments of the 5 barley loaves left by those who had eaten, they filled 12 baskets. When the people saw the sign that he had done, they began to say, "This is indeed the prophet who is to come into the world." When Jesus realized that they were about to come and take him by force to make him king, he withdrew again to the mountain by himself. The gospel of the Lord. I started doing these reflections on the 1st of January this year, and although there was the great enthusiasm that marks the beginning of every ambitious project, there was also a sense of trepidation. Would I be able to do this day after day? Would I get fresh insights? Would I get weary at some point and decide to quit? Would people get weary of listening to me? Would I be able to continue when I was on mission, sometimes for weeks on end? Well, day after tomorrow will make 7 months that I have been doing this without skipping a single day. And the reason is simply because of the ample provision that Jesus makes available to those who depend on him. We see this in the passage that we just read, the only miracle recorded in all 4 Gospels, which suggests how important it is. Now, there are several lessons that one can learn from this passage, but I'd like to focus on just one because it has tremendous relevance to all of us who say that we have faith. When Jesus sees a huge crowd of about 5,000 people approach, he asks Philip, "Where are we to buy bread for these people to eat?" And Scripture says that Jesus said this to test Philip because he himself knew already what he was going to do. Now, wouldn't it have been wonderful if Philip had said, "You know, Jesus, I was there when you changed water into wine. I saw you walk upon the water in the middle of a storm. I heard you call out to Lazarus to come out of the tomb, and he came out, and this was 4 days after he was dead. Lord, if you did all that, what is this to you, Lord? You can feed them all." Wouldn't it have been wonderful if Philip had answered that? But instead he says, "We don't have enough money to buy food to give them." Would we have responded any differently? I doubt it. And the question I want us to reflect upon is why? Because we are rational people. We are calculating people. Unfortunately, when we calculate without Christ. The next time around, let us factor Christ into the equation, because then what is impossible becomes possible, like these reflections. If you enjoy them, do let me know. God bless you.